Have you ever seen a creature waiting for something that will never return? In a quiet corner of the forest, beneath the dappled light and rustling leaves, there lived a squirrel with bright eyes and a heart full of hope. Each morning, it would scamper down from its home in an old, towering tree, leaping gracefully from branch to branch, chasing the morning sun. But that tree was everything. It wasn't just wood and bark, it was memory, it was safety, it was home. For years, that squirrel, let's call him Noko, had lived on that tree. There he was born, raised, and taught by his mother how to forage and flee. The tree had watched him grow season by season, from a trembling kit into a sprightly, clever adult. And then, one morning, it happened. The sound was unfamiliar at first. A distant rumble, a low metallic roar. Then men came, with machines and helmets, speaking loud words Noko didn't understand. He watched from the branches as they circled his beloved tree, pointing, marking, measuring. That night, Noko didn't sleep. He curled tightly into the crook of the trunk, as if by holding the tree with his small body he could shield it. But the next day, the sound returned, louder this time, final. The ground shook, the trunk splintered, the roots moaned. And then the tree was gone. Not fallen gently, but torn, its majesty felled in minutes. Dust filled the air, and Noko watched from a nearby bush, trembling. The tree that had held his whole world now lay broken and lifeless on the forest floor. His nest, his food stores, the scent of his mother was all gone. For a while, the forest was silent. But Noko didn't leave. Days passed, then weeks. The other animals moved on, building nests elsewhere. But Noko returned again and again to the empty space where the tree once stood. Every morning, he would sit on a nearby stump, facing the blank sky. Sometimes he would scratch at the ground, as if trying to unearth the roots, trying to call the tree back. Sometimes he'd bring small twigs or nuts, placing them where the trunk used to rise, like offerings at a grave. People who walked through the forest began to notice the little squirrel that just waited. Some thought he was just confused, others said he would move on. But Noko wasn't confused. He knew the tree was gone. But he also knew love. And love doesn't always move on. One day, a little girl came walking through the forest with her father. She spotted Noko sitting quietly on the ground. Curious, she stepped closer. "Why doesn't he leave?" she asked. Her father knelt beside her and watched in silence. "He remembers," he said softly. And the girl did something unexpected. The next day, she came back, this time with seeds in her pocket. Together with her father, she planted a small sapling near the spot where the great tree once stood. Noko watched, his eyes wide and silent. Each day after, the girl returned, watering the sapling, leaving little nuts by its base. Sometimes she would sit with Noko and speak to him in whispers, telling him stories, singing little songs. And though he never replied, he stayed. Seasons changed, rain came, then sun. The sapling grew inch by inch. Years passed. And one morning in that same patch of forest stood a new tree, young but strong, and within its branches a nest, small, warm, woven with care. And Noko, now old, slower but still bright-eyed, watched as a new squirrel, perhaps his own kin, leaped through the branches, chasing the morning sun. Love had taken root again. Because love, even when shattered, knows how to wait and to believe. What can we learn from a squirrel who waited? That grief is not weakness, that memory is sacred, and that sometimes healing doesn't come from moving on, but from holding on just long enough for something new to grow. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to reflect. Have you ever lost something so dear you couldn't let go? Maybe it wasn't about letting go, but about believing that something beautiful could bloom again. Share your thoughts in the comments. Leave a like if this story moved you, and subscribe for more real-life tales that speak to the soul. May we all have the heart of Noko, the squirrel who waited. May we remember, and may we plant again. Until the forest sings once more. Peace be upon you.